Mrs. Brody?
Here.
Dr. Clancy?
Here.
Dr. Kulikowski?
Here.
Mr. Murray?
Here.
Mrs. Suriani?
Here.
Mrs. Williams?
Here.
Mrs. Winkler?
Here.
Mrs. Cleary?
Here.
Mrs. Bauer?
Here.
Quorum is present.
Thank you. Please join us in the salute to the flag.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
So the board just met in executive session and discussed personnel issues and legal issues and negotiations. And notice of this meeting was given to the Borough Clerk of Fanwood, the Township Clerk of Scotch Plains, the Times, and the Patch. And we do have a number of additions to the agenda, and I think we get a second set of additions? Okay. All right, so we have one LET, which was a letter regarding homework assignments over the holidays, which Dr. Hayes has already spoken to the author of the letter about that. We also have a number of business, 3S field trip.
One additional field trip.
One additional field trip. The others we approved last week. And then 1 BUS, 4 BUS, 10, 11, and now 12 and 13. And then an additional resolution for our newly tenured teachers. Is that all we have? Anyone have any other additions to the agenda? Okay, seeing none, we'll move on to, we have an opportunity for anyone to address us, but seeing no one, we'll close the public portion till later. And committee reports, I believe we have at least one committee report. Dr. Clancy?
The Finance Committee met earlier this evening, and Mrs. Saradaki made a recommendation that we rescind the disposal bid award that she announced last week, and we have supported that. The low bidder imposed many conditions which made the costs of the bid speculative and possibly not the lowest bid. So we agreed that it was in our best interest to rescind that award and make a new award. We're doing the one for Giordano tonight. All right.
So that's one of the additions, I think.
And that's one of
right?
the additions. So the Finance Committee supports that decision.
Okay. I don't think I know we had committee reports last week, so I don't think there are any other committee reports right now. That brings us to the superintendent's report, Dr. Hayes.
Thank you. We have no out-of-district placements since last week. The one that was reviewed in exec this evening is a settlement agreement, so it's under business functions. 2S, you were all provided with the information for the graduation report of the class of 2017, and I reported out on that at our last meeting. So tonight, I would ask that the board acknowledge receipt of the graduation report for the class of 2017.
So moved.
Second.
Any comments or questions?
I just wanted to say that every year it is a great, it's a great announcement to see the graduation verification. We do a wonderful job of preparing our students for graduation and to move on to employment or college or whatever their post-high school goals are. So, again, it's wonderful, it's a great percentage again. I don't know exactly what it is, but I really appreciate that.
And I think, Dr. Clancy, that's great to point out, because I think we take those kinds of things for granted here in Scotch Plains, Fanwood, so.
Our graduation rate for the 2017 class is running around 95.66%.
It's really terrific. It's
Any other questions or comments? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
And 3S tonight, I would ask that the board approve the additional field trip request for the high school students in our Spanish 2 class, approximately 45 of them, to travel to attend a Flamingo Ballet show on November 21st, 2017 in Jersey City. They are awaiting confirmation on what particular theater in Jersey City it will be at, but in order to facilitate their ordering of tickets, we would appreciate approval this evening.
So I'll move.
Second.
Any comments or questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
And tonight, I would ask that the board approve the personnel agenda as reviewed in exec this evening.
So move.
Second.
Mrs. Saradaki, would you please call the roll?
Dr. Kulikowski?
Yes.
Mrs. Cleary?
Yes.
Mrs. Brody?
Yes.
Dr. Clancy?
Yes.
Mr. Murray?
Yes.
Mrs. Suriani?
Yes.
Mrs. Williams?
Yes.
Mrs. Winkler? Mrs. Bauer?
Yes.
And that concludes my report.
That was a good timing for an errant phone or whatever. All right. So we'll move on to the business functions, Mrs. Saradaki.
If nobody has any objection, I'd like to group them.
Okay, that'll be fine.
Okay. 1 BUS, I'd like the board to approve the superintendent's recommendations for staff training reimbursements on the report dated September 26th, as well as on the additions to the agenda, which were subsequently provided. 2 BUS, I'd like the board to acknowledge receipt of the following disbursement listings for the month of September 2017, and it's for various bank accounts. 3 BUS, I'd like the board to acknowledge receipt of the district school security and fire drill reports for the summer 2017. 4 BUS, I'd like the board to approve the staff training, which is on the additions to the agenda. The previous was already approved at the meeting on September 19th.
Right.
And that's for developmental DFX, in the amount of $520.
That's a related service?
Yes,
Okay.
it's a consultation. We consider those related services. 5 BUS, I'd like the board to approve the computer public sale bid for the, which we discussed last week, for the MacBooks, which was Lot 1, and for Chromebooks, which were Lot 2. The highest bidder for the Lot 1 was $21,600, and Lot 2 was $6,770. 6 BUS was approved at the last meeting. 7 BUS, I'd like the board to authorize payment for the settlement agreement for education costs of DC for the time period beginning September 5th, 2017, and continuing so long as placement remains appropriate. The costs to the district will include tuition at Banyan School and a reimbursement for the cost of transportation, which is a fixed cost. 8 BUS, I ask the board to acknowledge receipt of the board secretary report, the treasurer of school funds report, and the budget adjustments for the month ending August 31st, 2017. 9 BUS, I'm asking the board to approve bills for the period of August 29th, 2017 through September 22nd, 2017 in the amount of $2,481,460. $481,471.85. And then 10 BUS, the board to approve the rep theater stipends for the personnel that are not employees of the district, for the choreographer, lighting design, set and stage design, and costume designer. These amounts are the same amounts that were approved last year, as far as dollar amounts. 11 BUS, I'd like the board to accept the grant funds in the amount of $13,000 from the Margaret and Peter Chang Foundation for a 2017-18 program initiative to enhance and develop life skills in third grade students. This was the same purpose this grant was used for last year. Yes. And 12 BUS, I'd like the board to rescind the contract, the approval of the contract with Plainfield Municipal Utilities Authority, and in 13 BUS, approve the disposal bid for Giordano Company for the period of October 1st, 2017 through September 30th, 2020. The reason for the board's information that the Plainfield Municipal Utilities Authority, it is not considered a true bid. They considered it a quote because it would be a shared service. And because of that, they were permitted to add in extra charges, such as when the tipping fees for the garbage went up, which they do annually, they would be able to add that into our contract amount. And based on the history, it can vary widely. And the savings may not be, will not be as great as what we originally calculated. And it could potentially, depending on what happens with the costs of garbage removal, exceed the cost of Giordano's bid, which is a fixed dollar amount. Thank you. And I think that's everything.
Okay.
Well, we're awarding 13.
13 BUS.
Oh, I thought I read that.
You said
Yeah.
12.
I said 13 BUS is awarding to Giordano Company for the period October 1st, 2017 through September 30th, 2020, in the amount of $353,539.93.
Okay, can we have a motion and a second, and then we'll have...
Second.
Okay, comments or questions on any of these items for Mrs. Saradaki?
I have a question. I was just wondering if you could tell us how we came to acquire that grant of $13,000 and what it and what is that, the Empower Hour program?
Yes.
So the grant is a grant from the Margaret and Peter Chang Foundation that we have applied for the last 2 years. Liz Nodell Gordon takes the lead in doing that application. And what it does is it enables us to bring in a person who works with students in our elementary schools to help them develop greater confidence and increase social skills. And it is a grant that is used to support students that are selected for these additional supports in consultation with their parents. Thank you.
Other comments and questions?
Is that done within the school day, or is it after school?
It's done within the school day.
It's done at lunchtime.
The parent programs in the evening.
There's a parent component in the evening, but the children, we have someone who comes in and works with the children during the day, generally lunchtime.
So that's an outside facilitator. It's not one of our staff.
Other questions or comments for Mrs. Saradaki regarding any of the business items? Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So that brings us to board policies. Mrs. Winkler.
I would like to move that the board approve the second reading and adoption of the following board policies and regulations. Policy 2700, services to non-public school students. Policy and regulation 3221, evaluation of teachers. Policy and regulation 3222, evaluation of teaching staff members excluding teachers and administrators. Policy and regulation 3223, evaluation of administrators excluding principals, vice principals, and assistant principals. Policy and Regulation 3224, evaluation of principals, vice principals, and assistant principals. Policy and Regulation 5530, substance abuse. Policy and Regulation 7100, long-range facilities planning. Policy and Regulation 7101, educational adequacy of capital projects. Policy 7102, site selection and acquisition. Regulation 7102, site selection and acquisition. Policy 7130, school closing. Policy 7300, disposition of property. Regulation 7300.2, disposition of land. Regulation 7300.3, disposition of personal property. Regulation 7300.4, disposition of federal property, and abolishing Regulation 7300.1, disposition of instructional property.
Second.
Okay, and just for the public, in case someone's watching, Strauss Esme had, watching at home, Strauss Esme had advised us that these are wording changes due to...
Changes based on state codes and regulations that have
Okay.
changed.
Okay. And I think we're voting tonight. We've had the readings, if I'm correct. So do we have a motion? Well, Amy made the motion. Is there a second? Oh, I'm sorry. Thank you, Mr. Murray. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, that brings us to new board business. Is there any new board business? Other board business. Request to attend workshops? Workshop reports? Okay, superintendent merit goals. I think everyone has had a chance to review the merit goals and ask any questions. Is there a motion to approve them?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Good luck, Dr. Hayes.
Thank you.
It's a lot of work represented here. So
It's
we'll
good
look,
work.
we'll look forward to the outcomes of the various things that are encompassed in those goals. We have a number of resolutions that we need to read tonight. I want to say 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's almost one for everyone, but we have a volunteer for the first one, which is the Week of Respect. Is there anyone who's interested
that.
in? Okay, Mrs. Brody.
Move that the Board of Education adopts the following resolution. Whereas the Anti-Bullying Bill of Rights, PL 2010, C-122, was approved by the New Jersey Legislature in November 2010 and signed into law by Governor Chris Christie in January 2011. And whereas the statute is intended to protect students from harassment and intimidation that would substantially interfere with their education. And whereas in a 2009 survey by the National Centers for Disease Control, 1 in 5 New Jersey students indicated that they had been the subject of bullying on school grounds during the previous year. And whereas the Anti-Bullying Bill of Rights places expanded responsibilities on teachers, school administrators, and Board of Education to protect students from incidents of bullying, harassment, and intimidation. And whereas the Anti-Bullying Bill of Rights designates the week beginning with the first Monday in October as Week of Respect throughout New Jersey. And whereas the law directs school districts to observe the Week of Respect through age-appropriate instruction in accordance with New Jersey's core curriculum content standards. And whereas the Scotch Plains Fanwood Board of Education recognizes the harmful impact of harassment and bullying on children and is committed to providing all of its students with a safe and secure learning environment free from intimidation. And whereas the Scotch Plains Fanwood Board of Education supports the intent of the Anti-Bullying Bill of Rights to protect our children, as well as the goal of previous law to enhance training and instruction to prevent harassment, intimidation, and bullying. Now therefore be it resolved that the Scotch Plains Fanwood Board of Education declares October 2nd through 6th, 2017 as a week of respect in all district schools, and be it further resolved that the week of respect will be part of the Scotch Plains Fanwood Public Schools' ongoing efforts to foster respect among students and staff for the diverse cultures and personalities represented in our neighborhoods and school community, and be it further resolved that copies of this resolution be sent to Governor Chris Christie, State Senator Nicholas P. Scutari, Assembly Representatives James J. Kennedy and Jerry Green, the New Jersey School Boards Association, and the Union County School Boards Association.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, and that brings us to National School Lunch Week. Is there anyone who would like to read?
I'll go next.
Okay, Dr. Clancy.
Move that the Board of Education adopts the following resolution. Whereas school districts around the nation will celebrate National School Lunch Week from October 9th to the 13th, 2017, and whereas this year's theme for National School Lunch Week is School Lunch, Recipes for Success, encouraging students to get inspired about healthy eating and learning of the benefits of eating a healthy diet of fruits, vegetables, and whole grains. And whereas the National School Lunch Program is dedicated to the health and well-being of our nation's children, and whereas the National School Lunch Program has been joined through the years by many other excellent food and physical activity programs for children, and there is evidence of continued need for education about nutrition in combination with physical activity and awareness of the value of school nutrition programs, and whereas the Scotch Plains Fanwood Board of Education recognizes that children who are provided breakfast and lunch daily are better prepared for the classroom environment, being able to focus on learning, and whereas it is important for Scotch Plains and Fanwood communities to understand that education, proper child nutrition, and physical activity go hand in hand, and whereas the State Board of Education continues to recognize and commends the men and women who accept and meet the daily challenge of providing school lunches to our children. Therefore, be it resolved that the week of October 9th to the 13th, 2017, recognized as National School Lunch Week. And be it further resolved that the National School Lunch Week be devoted to the recognition of everyone who contributes to the successful operation of our state's school lunch services program. And be it further resolved that this special week serve as a fitting time to urge all Scotch Plains and Fanwood residents to become aware of and concerned about their children's health and their own habits in hopes of achieving a more healthful community for today and in the future.
Thank you. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, that brings us to the School of Violence Awareness Week. Is there anyone who would like to read that?
I'll read it.
Okay, Mrs. Williams.
I move that the Board of Education adopts the following resolution. Whereas the Scotch Plains Fanwood Board of Education encourages awareness and promotes education on effective methods to reduce and prevent youth violence, and recognize warning signs and raise awareness of school safety and security issues, and provide information that parents, community members, and educators can utilize to make schools safer and more secure. And whereas district schools shall observe this week by organizing activities to prevent school violence, including, but not limited to, age-appropriate opportunities for student discussion on conflict resolution, issues of student diversity, and tolerance. Now therefore be it resolved that the Scotch Plains Fanwood Board of Education proclaims the week of October 16th to the 20th, 2017 as School Violence Awareness Week.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, National Principals Month resolution. Okay, Mrs. Winkler.
Move that the Board of Education approves the following resolution.
Whereas the Scotch Plains Fanwood Board of Education has declared the month of October 2017 as National Principals Month in coordination with the efforts of the National Association of Elementary School Principals, the American Federation of School Administrators, and the National Association of Secondary School Principals, working with the U.S. Congress to designate National Principals Month and resolutions thereof. Whereas the vision, dedication, and determination of the principal provides the mobilizing force behind any school reform effort. Whereas principals are expected to be educational visionaries, instructional leaders, assessment experts, disciplinarians, community builders, public relations experts, budget analysts, facility managers, special programs administrators, and guardians of various legal, contractual, and policy mandates and initiatives, as well as being entrusted with the education and development of young people, the most valuable resource. Whereas principals will play a vital role in successful implementation of the Every Student Succeeds Act. Whereas principals set the academic tone for their schools and work collaboratively with teachers to develop and maintain high curriculum standards, develop mission statements, and set performance goals and objectives for schools to achieve educational excellence. Whereas the Scotch Plains Fanwood Board of Education honors such exemplary elementary and middle-level public, private, and independent school leaders committed to serving students from pre-kindergarten to grade 8 in their profession. Whereas the Scotch Plains Fanwood Board of Education recognizes outstanding middle-level and high school principals who have succeeded in providing high-quality learning opportunities for students, as well as their exemplary contributions to the profession. Whereas to honor and recognize the contribution of all school principals and assistant principals at all grade levels to the success of students in New Jersey elementary and secondary schools, and to encourage residents of New Jersey to observe National Principals Month with appropriate ceremonies and activities that promote awareness of school leadership's role in ensuring that every child has access to a high-quality education. Now therefore be it resolved in honor of the service of all elementary, middle level, and high school principals, and to recognize the importance of their school leadership so that every child has access to a high-quality education. The month of October 2017 is hereby designated in the state of New Jersey to be National Principals Month, and the Scotch Plains Fanwood Board of Education is especially proud to celebrate with our school principals, Dr. David Heide, Dr. Jocelyn Duberesk, Dr. Kevin Holloway, Mr. Scott Bortnick, Dr. Karen Wetherill, Mrs. Colleen Halbert, Dr. Sasha Slocum, and Mr. Justin Fiore, and commend their continued school leadership accomplishments.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? And that brings us to the last one, 7 OBB, newly tenured teachers. Okay, Dr. Kulikowski?
I'd like to move that the Board of Education adopts the following resolution. Whereas the mission of the Scotch Plains Fanwood Public Schools is to educate and empower our community of individual learners to be successful citizens of the world, and whereas the Scotch Plains Fanwood Board of Education will always expect exceptional performance by staff, will always hire the most qualified candidates, and will promote the maximum performance and achievement of every student and staff member, and whereas the following teachers are deserving of receiving tenure in the Scotch Plains Fanwood Public Schools this year. Now therefore be it resolved that the Scotch Plains Fanwood Board of Education recognizes and congratulates these newly tenured teachers and offers our support and best wishes as they continue to diligently work with our students in the Scotch Plains Fanwood Public Schools.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, thank you all very much. We have a lot of important recognitions, and I know the newly tenured teachers will be recognizing before an upcoming meeting, so, and I guess you're going to pass this resolution on to the principals as well. Okay, so that brings us to the approval of the minutes for August 31st, executive session, regular board meeting. Can I have a motion? Second? Are there any abstentions?
I have to abstain, I wasn't here.
As do I.
We have Tanya.
Evelyn and
over
Tanya
here.
are abstaining.
Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. We have an opportunity for the public to speak, but seeing no one, I'm going to move on to the good of the order. Anyone have anything for the good of the order? Dr. Kulikowski?
I stopped by the safety buggy area behind St. Bart's. The high school students were practicing the effect of what it would be like if you were under the influence and driving. And I met with Officer Sean Johnson was there, obviously. Liz wasn't there the time that I went there. And I had seen it in years previously, and the students really enjoy that. And also, I just received an email from Karen Steele from MAC, which I reported out at our last meeting, and there's going to be Narcan training, which is free and open to the public. Anybody has someone that may have the need of Narcan being administered to them. It is Wednesday, October 4th, and Monday, October 2nd. The second is in Woodbridge, and the second one is in Perth Amboy. I have forwarded the flyer to you, Dr. Hayes, and to you, Mrs. Bauer, if that could be either put up on the website.
We'll send it
or
out
send
to
it out.
everyone.
She literally had just sent it to me when we were in exec.
Wonderful. Anyone else for the good of the order? Mrs. Winkler?
Went to back to school night at Hull last Thursday, which was always an interesting time getting to see the teachers, getting to meet them and learn about what they're doing in the classes. It's exciting. I have to say, it was my last one at Terrell, and I am going to miss Mrs. Bensabanga giving her little poems at the end of each period that the parents are supposed to change classrooms, and I'm kind of sad. I'm going to miss that. They're cute. They're really fun.
Wow, a big transition will be coming up. Anyone else for the good of the order? Mrs. Siriani?
Yes, I attended a couple different activities this week, and I just want to say, in general, if you look at our district calendar, there are so many opportunities for parents to get involved with different events at the schools. I think it's really wonderful, but I attended Take Your Parent to PE Week, which I think was a great, I think we go into classrooms as parents, and we're part of the instruction, but I've never been invited into phys ed, so it was great. Parents came in workout gear, and we were kind of doing push-ups with our kids and arm circles, and it was a lot of fun. And also, McGinn had their kindergarten picnic the other night, and Dr. Slocum was there, and it was a wonderful opportunity for people just entering the district with their first child being in kindergarten to feel part of the community, and to meet other parents and Dr. Slocum, and it was just a great night. And I know McGinn is not the only school that does it, so I think it's wonderful.
Where was your PE event?
It was at McGinn, and my husband and I both went with one of our kids, and
the kids were
exercised.
impressed you could still do push-ups?
I didn't say I did it well, but yes. It was fun.
Anyone else for the good of the order? Okay, I know there are a lot of things coming up in September already, even though it's the beginning of the school year, so we'll look forward to additional information, and if there's nothing else, I think we want to highlight the fact that we have strategic planning next Tuesday. I know it's on the website. I know information, a lot of letters have been sent out to senior citizens, officials, clubs, organizations, but I would ask everybody to spread the word, and I'm sure PTA and everyone else is spreading the word as well, so we'll see everyone then. So, can I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, thank you very much.